So in this clip, I'm going to look at how I would typically introduce the object-oriented paradigm to beginners. Um, I think we're used to thinking in terms of objects, so it's not something to delay until second year or something like that. I'm sorry about the screen here, but I'm saving an empty file called animals.py to get the ball rolling. I want the color coding and so forth. So this isn't a first lesson. There's certain tacit understanding of text editor and some ins and outs of Python. So you've maybe had a couple lessons before, but this is towards the beginning in the belief that objects are the way to code. It's the paradigm that we use in this particular language, so we should make full use of it early, not do lots of procedural code first or something. So the two rib syntax defined methods you're probably going to want are a constructor and a way to represent yourself. You need to be born, and then once you're born, you need to say who you are to the world. You need to say, hello world, or whatever you're going to say. So this dog class or blueprint template gets imported in the shell, and then we invoke the constructor with the curly braces after the name of the class, dog, capital D being the name of the class. So I've just created two instances, very simple code in the background, a constructor, and now we're invoking the repr, the way to represent yourself, the REPR special name. So now that we've got those two defined, we can get a little bit fancier. It's not much fun just having a dog that only can report on its name, so let's give it the capacity to eat. That means initializer will create an empty stomach for us, saved in self, which you can think of as kind of a dictionary or a stash, personal stash. Every dog will have its own stomach, just like every dog has its own name. And then what goes in must come out. So I'm going to have a poop method here so that we can talk about the stomach as a queue as opposed to, say, a stack. There's legitimate reasons to reach into computer science at this point and pull out some fancy technical ideas. First in, first out, last in, first out, things like that. So this is first in, first out, a queue, and we're going to use the pop method. Since stomach is a list, it inherits this ability to pop the 0th element, which will be the first element. So thinking of the alimentary canal or tract, as sort of food moving from left to right, or let's see, right to left. It's confusing, isn't it? So now we're importing animals and reloading. I had to import animals in order to reload animals. Above I had only just imported dog, so I had to remember to. And then here's another confusion. I haven't specifically imported dog since my changes, so although I've done a reload, I'm still working with my old definition of dog. So when I tried to feed it popcorn, the code got, the interpreter got upset about that because what am I doing? So then I would go back and import dog. Now it eats popcorn. It's using the call method. See, I can invoke the call method simply using these parentheses. It's kind of like a mouth. It looks like, popcorn meatloaf going in, and then use the poop method to pop stuff off and look in the stomach every so often and see what's there. So here it should be empty because we've eliminated everything. So that's kind of the basics, and then a little bit fancy at this point to show the consistency really of the syntax, how everything really does fit together. Given dogs are just objects, they can be eaten. No one said you can only eat a string or something. You don't have to declare the types here. So anything goes. So dog, now dog 2 has a dog in its stomach as its 0th element, which I can now invoke the call method. I can have it eat some popcorn even though it's already in dog 2's stomach. Okay, so that's a little bit complicated, but with practice, you get the syntax, you get to understand what it is you're doing. Here we're looking in the dog 1 stomach inside of dog 2. Okay, now, once that's out of the way, it's time to talk about subclassing. So I usually come up with a mammal or animal as a superclass, and I didn't show you cutting and pasting, but I can just move the code up there, except in this case, in this design pattern, I leave the representer, specific to two different animals, dog and monkey. They each say a dog named so-and-so or a monkey named so-and-so. And that's the only thing that separates the animals. We could have a human in there if we liked. We could have a whole menagerie. And we could start doing special methods unique to each one, because right now there's nothing much to differentiate at this time. But here the object of this lesson is simply the syntax of subclassing. And both dog and monkey, being blueprints, inherit from animal and thereby gain all the methods that go with that. Just as lists inherit all kinds of list methods, animals inherit animal methods. So here we're showing how the monkey gets to eat, and it ate the dog actually. And that's all for free. We kind of got two animals for the price of one, just because of the way we did things. The Python way. It's very cool, very easy.